let's go ahead and start with Capcom because they have this is like a little free party here, but the third one I think is going to make you kind of pissy, Cream. So first of all,
Okay.
Capcom says that Resident Evil Requiem development started way before Village, which okay, I'll be honest, I'm a little confused about that, but we came up with part 9 before we came up with part 8. I mean, like, I understand George Lucas did things a little backwards, but he didn't skip, like, he didn't go, I did 5 and then went did 4, but okay.
Maybe it was like we started on 9, realized that, oh, fuck, this is a little bit much, then worked on 8 instead. I don't know.
It turns out that while Capcom was working on a litany of scares for Resi 8, Resi 8!
Resi 8, bro! Maybe you're playing Resi 8.
The developer was already working on Resident Evil Requiem, and it will be an inclusive entry. The Ethan Winters journey is over with Resident Evil Requiem, which I think most people are happy about. We move on, and Grace Ashcroft heads up the mantle this time around. Rumors about Leon Kennedy continue to swell. Capcom has clearly had Grace's character in mind for some time. So, to those of you who are wondering, it's like 99% chance that Leon's going to be there. There was quite a few leaks about that. And one of them was pretty definitive as well. All right, so we got this quote here that says, looking back, I understand how Resident Evil 4 and Village became more action-heavy. Yes, we have to admit. Looking back at the feedback, we understand how fans prefer more horror. Requiem was in development way before Village. We just wanted to make sure that this game, we wanted to focus on the horror and the horror be the main part, which I think a lot of people will appreciate there. I'm not sure if all development teams are like this, but I personally try to read as much as all the comments on social media. You are playing a dangerous game there, my friend. You are playing a very, very, very dangerous game there, my friend. All right, now, we're going to go back into this one because Resident Evil Requiem is expected to sell better than Resident Evil Village. I don't think there's too much to say about this one. That's kind of a given, right? I feel like there's just far more hype for Requiem than there ever was for Village, even with like a big titty, dommy, mummy, vampire woman.
Yeah, I mean, the whole going back to Raccoon City, I think, is a really big part of that. When everyone saw that you get to go back there, that immediately made people hyped, especially old fans of the series. Whereas Village was kind of veering off away, and 7 and Village are very different. I mean, that first person camera stuff, I think a lot of people who are older fans may have not been totally on board with, even though 7 was a really good game from what everyone said, and Village wasn't terrible. But yeah, I feel like this is more of a back to its roots. It's somewhat in the sense of it returning to Raccoon City. I don't necessarily know about gameplay because we really haven't seen anything. So,
well, you wait for this next part, Craig. This is about to frustrate you big time. Don't worry, Resident Evil Requiem won't have PC woes like Monster Hunter Wilds, says Capcom. This is what you fucking said about Monster Hunter Wilds not having the same problems as Dragon's Dogma 2.
No,
so
it's
I
worse.
don't think anyone should believe this.
It's worse. They said that about Monster Hunter Wild, saying it won't have problems like, oh my god, what was it? Dead Rising.
And Dogma.
Not Dead Rising. Yeah. But basically, all their games they put out in the last couple of years, they've been saying, well, guys, it's not going to have problems like this game or this game or this game. No, you clearly don't know how to fucking optimize for PC, or you just don't give a shit. Which is stupid because the majority of people playing are on PC. And that looks like it's only going to increase depending on the sales of Steam's new fucking PC console, right? Oh my god. Like, don't you can't just be like, hey, don't worry, it runs well. How about you put out a demo of the game? Well, put out a demo so people can test it to see if it runs.
A public demo, not like a selected slice of the game that's only at events. But if I am going to, I think they picked a great picture for this, by the way. If I am going to give them a little bit of the benefit of doubt here, I will say the big difference is like, well, the same engine is used in Resident Evil and Monster Hunter. And this is just purely speculation from me. Maybe there's something in that engine that just works better for confined areas as opposed to Monster Hunter just being so open with its environments. But when you have it all full of de novo, doesn't really fucking matter. I mean, like, you get exceptions like Stellar Blade, which its PC port was very fucking smooth, even with de novo. So you could only imagine how good it is without it. But anyway, so Capcom is working to ensure that Resident Evil Requiem will perform well on PC following multitude of technical issues this year with Monster Hunter Wilds. Again, to throw out like a bone to them here, which I don't think they fucking deserve based off that comment right there. The Monster Hunter Wilds PC performance really blew up. Now, granted, that is partly due to Dogma, so they're going back to back with this shit. But Monster Hunter Wilds one was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. Like, you had all the memes and shit about how fucking bad it's running and everything. So it was kind of in their face a little bit more. The company has been heavily criticized for performance on Monster Hunter Wilds, which lost 99% of its player base. Though it acknowledged those issues, a free update is due on December 16th, something players have been waiting majority of the year for. This game came out in February, by the way.
Hold on. This update can't be for fixing glitches, right? Because if it is, the assumption is that it's going to be fixing glitches.
Why can't it be that?
Oh, it's just that. Okay. Because I was about to say, if it takes you a whole fucking year to fix these glitches, that's a problem. But I guess in this sense, it's even worse because the game is still not like optimized to where it should be. And people may say, oh, it works for me. Yeah, but it doesn't work for, it's still a problem, right? And that doesn't mean the game's bad, like story-wise. But again, what the fuck are they doing? Like, we're getting all this content. Yes, okay, I get that. Even the Street Fighter shit we got, right? You got to fix the fucking game. And this is the problem. Are you going to release Resident Evil 9 and then it just runs like shit on PC? Which, like, and then we're going to have to wait over a year to get it fixed because you're busy working on the next game? Like,
it seems Capcom has learned its lesson. Okay, I don't think anyone in the chat agrees with this. It seems Capcom has learned its lesson. No one agrees with that.
I hope they did. But...
Oh, I hope so too. And we will ensure that Resident Evil Requiem won't suffer a similar fate. Resident Evil Requiem differs from Monster Hunter Wilds in terms of gameplay, system architecture, and network issues, said Capcom during its QA for its latest earnings report. At present, we do not anticipate similar risks. We are developing the game to provide a smooth gaming experience across a wide range of PC specifications. You said the same thing about Monster Hunter Wilds after Dragon's Dogma.
And they said the same thing about Dogma. Like,
Resident Evil Requiem is the 9th mainline game in the series, which launches next year on the 27th of February. Not only will it be released on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, it's also coming to the Switch too. Yes, okay, I am going to forgive the Switch 2 copy for being worse than the PC port. I think that's just inevitable, right? Well, along with Resident Evil Biohazard and Village on the same day. So what, all three are going to Switch 2 on the same day?
Yeah, remember, we talked about this when they announced that, and we said, that's fucking stupid. You should stagger the releases up to
leading up to the release of 9, yeah.
Exactly, so people could play through it, but they just decided, no, fuck it, we're going to release them all on the same day. So
that is wild. As such, Capcom has an extra platform on its hands to optimize. All right, looking at the game when it was multiplayer, the horror part was very mild. Okay, so that just goes into the horror stuff that we already talked about. Yeah, look, Capcom, I got to press X to doubt, and that's purely based off your own previous recent history with your own PC ports as well. Yeah, sorry, pressing the button. I mean, I want them to have, like you, I think like everyone, we want them to be honest and say that they've learned from their lessons. And, maybe in a case of, we do know that there's a problem here, but we just can't fucking get it right. Maybe that's the case here, man. But one thing I can guarantee everybody, if Resident Evil 9 has the same amount of performance issues as Monster Hunter Wilds, motherfuckers are going to explode. There's going to be blood in the streets, man. It will not get a pass for this one. It will not.
You Enoch Powell, Rivers of Blood, because of fucking Resident Evil 9. But but you're right. I think people will be really fucking angry, really pissed. And I think you'll see the same amount of drop-off problems that Monster Hunter had. Maybe even a little bit.
Caveat there?
Yeah, sure.
A little caveat to that. It's a single player game, so it's going to inevitably have a huge drop off.
Whereas I was about to say that. Yeah, it's going to drop off anyways. But How quickly does it drop off? Do people actually finish the game? Do they get close to finishing the game? That's the things that would be interested, I would be interested in seeing. And you can see somewhat if, like, especially if Resident Evil Requiem has an achievement for actually finishing the game, you can go through and see how many players actually achieve that. So there's a little, it's going to be hard to tell 100%, right? But there's some ways we can kind of get an idea of what the hell's going on with it. And I don't know, man. It's just like, this is the same time. This is the third time we're getting this said. Don't worry, we know we're not going to allow this to happen. But you allowed it to happen the last 2 times. More than that. Look at the remasters. They had a remaster of not Dead Rising, was it? No, Dead Rising, yes. I'm thinking of, I always mix up Dead Rising and Dead Island. Dead Rising, even though they're different games, whatever. Dead Rising, they said, oh, no, we're not going to have problems like Dogma. It's going to be fine. And Dead Rising was awful. It was terrible. And that was just a remaster. They didn't have to make a brand new game. And then they said, well, we had the problem with Dead Rising Remaster, but Monster Hunter Wild is going to be all right. It's going to be good. And guess what? Is the game good? I would argue storyline-wise, I enjoyed what I played of it. But it didn't matter because I kept running into fucking glitches on my good PC. It's not like I have a bad PC. I have a really good PC. I have an above average PC. Shout out, ladies. I have an above average PC, ladies. But here's the thing. If I'm having problems with it, what about the people who are running on minimum specs? That's a problem, man. I'm having to lower the quality on my higher end PC. Well, if you're running the minimum specs, you're not going to be able to play the game. And that's a fucking problem because they're telling people you need this, this, and this to play it. And then you have this, this, and this. You buy the game after they tell you it will work on your system, and then it doesn't work. That's a problem. And that's a problem that a lot of developers have been doing. So are they going to actually fix it? I don't believe them. I hope they do. I would love to eat my words. I would love to come back and say, you know what? They actually did fix it. But at this moment, I have not seen, I need proof before I go through and say like, oh yeah, they're going to fix it.